Good afternoon. On behalf of our Chicago Regional Director, Marilyn A. Sanders, I would like to thank you for joining us for today's Data Summit, Statistics in Schools, Bringing Census Data to Classrooms. We're delighted to have you with us to broaden your knowledge during our expansive Data Summit series. My name is Janine Beasley, Partnership Coordinator for the Chicago region, and I am your host for today. Before I go into the agenda, I'd like to cover some basic information and house rules. This session is being recorded. The summit will be recorded for the benefit of attendees and other stakeholders who are unable to be present. For those who do not wish to be recorded, please take this time to opt out and drop from this session. Because of the large number of participants on this webinar, everyone has been muted. We encourage everyone to utilize the chat for any questions or feedback. Due to the volume of participants, we will not be able to answer all questions. Any questions that are not answered can be sent to ask.census.gov. For any media-related inquiries regarding apportionment or redistricting, please reach out to the Public Information Office at pio@census.gov. For your convenience, please expect the PDF and resource sheet for today's presentation within 2 business days. Our presenters' contact information will be provided near the end of this presentation. And remember, this webinar is being recorded. Designed for the novice data user, today's Data Summit on Statistics in Schools will provide an overview of the SIS program and digital resources available on census.gov that will help bring census data in the classroom. At the conclusion of today's session, you will have an increased awareness of the vast data products available through the U.S. Census Bureau. You will be better equipped to utilize some of the free online tools available on census.gov, and you'll also have some resources and toolkits to assist with navigating data available on our website. Now let's walk through today's program. Our agenda will include opening remarks from our Area Regional Census Manager, Elisa Johnson, followed by the Chicago Regional Director, Marilyn A. Sanders. We'll also hear remarks from our SIS partner, Kelly Booth, from the American Federation of Teachers. Following Ms. Booth, we'll welcome our presenters, Victoria Glazier, as well as Sheree Johnson-Jordan from the Census Bureau Statistics in Schools program. After our key presenters, we'll host our Q&A session, followed by a wrap-up of today's program. Before I turn it over to Ms. Johnson, I'd like to provide a high-level update of the 2020 census. This information has already been made public. As you know, every 10 years, the Census Bureau takes account of everyone living in the United States as required by the Constitution. The Bureau has been working diligently to process responses and assess its quality as we work towards releasing the first results from the 2020 census. These results will include 3 tables from the nation, each of our 50 states. These counts include apportionment, resident, and overseas population. The data is used to divide the 435 memberships or seats in the U.S. House of Representatives amongst the 50 states based on the state population from the 2020 census. The apportionment counts are scheduled to be released by April 30th. We know the release date is a hot topic for many, but this is the latest information that we have to provide today. So in the interest of time, and with today's goal in mind, we will only answer questions specific to today's summit. Any media-related inquiries should be referred to our Public Information Office at pio@census.gov. And any general questions we don't cover today, they can be sent to census.gov. As an additional resource, you can find links to our latest updates and informational material and an apportionment press kit in the newsroom on census.gov. As a friendly reminder, we'd like to inform you again that this webinar is being recorded, and please expect a PDF of today's presentation within 2 business days. After the census, shifts in population and congressional representation amongst the states require the redrawing of district boundaries within states. The Census Bureau provides states with the local area population counts that they need to redraw or redistrict their congressional or other legislative boundaries. Our current schedules point to delivering these data to the states and the public by September 30th, 2021. The redistricting data includes counts of population by race, ethnicity, Hispanic or Latino origin, voting age, housing occupancy status, or group quarters population, all at the census block level. We will also be releasing a summary redistricting file in the legacy format to all states by mid to late August. This will assist states who have a pressing need to assess their data sooner than September 30th. This is the same format produced and provided to all states since the 2000 census. For more information on redistricting, including links to geographic support products such as maps, tables, and files, visit our redistricting press kit by visiting our newsroom on census.gov. Remember, we will not answer any questions regarding apportionment or redistricting. Any media-related questions regarding those topics should be referred to our Public Information Office at pio@census.gov. Now let's continue with our program. I'd like for you to help me welcome the Chicago Region's Area Regional Census Manager, Elisa Johnson. Starting with the Census Bureau in 2008, Ms. Johnson has held roles as a data dissemination specialist for the state of Illinois, National Partnership Coordinator during the 2010 decennial, and Area Regional Census Manager before her promotion to Deputy Regional Director over Partnership for the 2020 decennial. As the leader of more than 200 partnership team members, she has worked with high-level partners and networks, including our state complete count committees, and ensured the formation of partnerships in our large cities such as Chicago, Detroit, Indianapolis, and St. Louis. Please help me extend a warm welcome to Elisa Johnson. Elisa?
Thank you so much, Janine, and thank you for all of our partners that have joined this afternoon. It's such a pleasure to be here this afternoon with all of you all listening to our next and upcoming exciting data summit. It is with pleasure and honor that I take this time right now to introduce our Regional Director, Marilyn A. Sanders. Mrs. Sanders is currently serving as a Regional Director for the U.S. Census Chicago region. Her extensive career spans more than 4 decennial censuses and multiple survey data collection and innovation improvement. We are very, very fortunate to have Mrs. Sanders as our leader here in the Chicago region. She has served in many different capacities, and her extensive knowledge of field data collection has been an invaluable asset to the Chicago region. To date, she has received many commendations during her 4-decade career, earning 3 bronze medals in 1992, 2000, and 2011, and the Presidential Hammer Award in 2010. She has also been nominated twice for the Federal Employee of the Year for her outstanding public service. Mrs. Sanders has a strong commitment to excellence and mentoring, and she continues to lead the Chicago region across all platforms. And again, we're very fortunate to have her leadership here in the Chicago region. Mrs. Sanders earned her Bachelor's of Arts degree in Business Management with a concentration in economics from Stillman College in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. She attended the University of South Alabama and Governor State University, pursuing postgraduate studies in geography and statistics. She is a very proud member of the Delta Sigma Theta sorority. This afternoon, it is my pleasure again to welcome our Regional Director, Marilyn A. Sanders.
Good afternoon. On behalf of the U.S. Census Bureau, I want to welcome you and thank you for joining our 2021 Data Summit series. On behalf of the Census Bureau's Acting Director, Dr. Ron German, and my fellow regional directors, George Grandy Jr. in Atlanta, Kathy Lacey in Denver, Dallas, Julie Lamb in Los Angeles, Jeff Baylor in New York, and Fernando Armstrong in Philadelphia. I also want to thank you for your partnership, which helped make the 2020 census count a success throughout the nation. As you all know, a complete count of our children is critically important. In 2010, children under 5 years old were the most undercounted population in the country after Alaska Natives. Those young children, even newborns, will enter school in just a few short years, where education funding, nutritional assistance programs, special education programs, and so much more are based on the decennial census count. Through the Statistics in Schools program, we partnered with schools like yours to make data fun and engaging for students, and to help bring the message of the 2020 census home to our families. Now we are pleased to offer this data summit to make that data more accessible to you, teachers, school administrators, and other educators, to better serve your students and your communities. We have a great team of experts from our Statistics in School program who will walk you through today all the valuable resources that are available through the SIS program. I also want to give a special welcome to Kelly Wu, Director of Share My Lesson and e-learning with the American Federation of Teachers. Thank you for bringing your experience here today, your insight that you will share with us all today, and I know that you will find today's Data Summit informative and engaging. If you have any questions, remember to please follow up with our Census Bureau specialist, and we will be glad to assist you. My sincere thank you for being here today and being present in this space. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Sanders. We're so grateful for your leadership here in the Chicago region. Your remarks have definitely set the tone for our program today. The undercount of young children is a high priority for the Census Bureau, and we hope everyone is ready to receive more information on how we can bridge that gap using data in our classrooms. And now, I'd like to introduce our SIS partner, Kelly Booth, from the American Federation of Teachers. Ms. Booth oversees the American Federation of Teachers pre-K through 12th grade online resources serving more than 1.8 million educators on the sharemylesson.com site, as well as the organization's AFT's e-learning professional development platform. And additionally, she oversees the production and dissemination of pre-K through 12th grade publications to 1.7 million members. In 2017, Ms. Booz was named Alexandria, Virginia's Chamber of Commerce 40 Under 40. Please help me welcome Ms. Kelly Booz. Kelly?
All right. Hello, everybody. Hopefully you can hear me. I just want to say thank you so much for having me as your guest and representing our American Federation of Teachers, 1.7 million members, and then also to share our great partnership that we've done with Statistics in Schools and the Census Bureau over the last several years, really. You know, I'm not going to take up too much time, but I just want to share, you know, how important and valuable these resources that you're going to learn more about shortly are to educators and to students in this time and age when we're in such a data-driven world. A couple of quick words about our partnership. So I run our AFT's Share My Lesson website. It is a free online resource sharing site. We have that's open to AFT members and non-AFT members. We have over 400,000 free resources aligned pre-K through 12th grade in every subject area, including art and music, so every kind of subject area that we have. And our content and our resources come directly from members who create free accounts on Share My Lesson and upload content, and also from really great partners like Statistics in Schools. I've put in the chat box a link to a collection that we did on the 2020 census with a number of the resources that are specifically featured from Statistics in Schools. So we've got incredible content from our partner organizations. And in addition to that, we've been able to do lots of great webinars with Statistics in Schools, similar to this one, reviewing some of their fantastic resources that we have on the site. So I encourage you to take a look at the site. And one of the things that take a look at the site and sign up. It's a free account, and you can download content from the site. But one of the things I want to point out that I particularly love about these resources for Statistics in Schools and the Census Bureau is that it's really easy to think about these resources as just being about the census, you know, that happens every 10 years, and it is, you know, within our Constitution, and it is incredibly valuable. But one of the things that Statistics in Schools has done is they've created content for just about every topic area. And so I think it makes it a lot easier for teachers to incorporate data and statistics in, you know, something as simple as a Halloween lesson plan or something for Mother's Day. They also have these really great icebreakers that are 5 minutes that we really enjoy promoting, and they're great kind of bell ringer beginning of the classroom activities. So we're so excited for all the content that they've shared, in particular the school maps for understanding the U.S. population. That's the second link that you'll see in the chat box. So you can take a peek at some of the different resources that are there. But again, thank you again so much for having me on here as part of this presentation. It is so important. We're glad that we can be a partner to help get the word out and disseminate these great resources that the Statistics in Schools team has been creating and continuing to develop and promote. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kelly, for sharing highlights of the great work you're doing at the American Federation of Teachers and all those resources that are available. Now let's continue with welcoming today's presenters from the Bureau's SIS Division, Victoria Glazier and Sheree Johnson-Jordan. Victoria Glazier manages the Census Bureau's SIS program and has more than 30 years of experience in federal communications. She worked on a variety of projects in media and marketing before joining the Census in Schools program, a program designed to educate students about the census once every 10 years. She led this initiative that eventually turned into an ongoing program that provides SIS resources for K through 8 teachers, K through 12 teachers. Our other presenter is Sheree Johnson-Jordan, who is the marketing specialist with our SIS program. She has developed creative content for a variety of publications and educational projects throughout her more than 30 years of service in federal and private sector communications. Without further delay, I'd like to turn it over to our presenters today, starting with Victoria Glazier. Vicki?
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you very much for being here with us today. I don't know if you can see the slides. We are very excited to kick off the first Statistics in Schools Data Summit with this webinar. And I want to give a huge thank you to Kelly. As she said, the American Federation of Teachers has been a great supporter of our program. And we really appreciate Kelly being here today to help support what we're doing. So I'll just give it a second to catch up with the introductory slide. We haven't missed much. So today we're going to go over the Statistics in Schools program and why it is important. We will share with you the variety of resources that are available, how to navigate our website, and details on our new Teacher Ambassador program. So for those of you that don't know, what is Statistics in Schools? Statistics in Schools, or SIS, which is much easier for us to call it, is an educational program created by the U.S. Census Bureau. We offer student-friendly resources that use census data. So a few important points about what these resources are. First of all, they were made by teachers for teachers. Census Bureau data experts reviewed them all for accuracy. There are over 200 of them. They are free, and they can be used in many subjects from kindergarten through 12th grade. One of our main goals when we talk about the SIS program is to empower students to be educated consumers of data. I'm going to say it again because it's really important. I was talking with a partner, and they said that was their goal this year, and I was like, that's what we do too, empower students to be educated consumers of data. Jobs dealing with statistics are on the rise. Students need to become familiar with charts and graphs and visualizations in many of their subjects, not just math class. Statistics are everywhere. They need to understand that, your Fitbit, counting your steps, how your favorite sports team is doing, all of that is statistics. It has become one of our missions to kind of find and share the real life or cool data in what the Census Bureau has to offer. And lastly, we want to help students understand the importance of the Census Bureau and the data it collects. They need to understand that the connection that their local community depends on information from the Census Bureau to decide where schools, hospitals, and other services go. Many of the teachers that we have worked with, they said they were not aware that the funding is used toward programs that affect student readiness, like what's on the screen, from child health programs to assistance with housing and heating and food. If we can have students become aware of that connection and be future survey respondents, then we're kind of killing two birds with one stone. They're learning statistics, they're becoming literate, and they understand the civic responsibility and importance of what we do. So now let's take a look at the actual materials that we offer. As Kelly said, we have activities on a wide variety of subjects. We pretty much categorize our activities into, or our resources. It's a resource, which is kind of a shorter, fun thing, or an activity that is standard-based. So our materials are divided into social studies, math, geography, English, and sociology. On the following slides, I'm just going to give you a quick run-through of what we have for elementary, middle, and high in each subject, and then I'm going to show you kind of my favorite cool factor slide. It's just an infographic or something that when students see that, it's like, I think it's kind of the neater things of what we have to offer. Every one of these activities has a student worksheet and a teacher's guide. Sheree will be showing you in a little while where you can go to access these activities. So here's an example of the data that you will see in this English activity called How is Young Adulthood Changing? This infographic shows that the number of young adults living at home has significantly increased throughout the country since 2005, as seen from the dark shaded states. So it's something I think we all know, but when you actually see this, to me, that's like the cool factor. Like, look at that. Like, these kids are staying home. Our country is changing, and that's one of the ways that it's happening. They're moving out or getting married as they did, back in 2005 and before. So next subject we'll talk about is our history and social studies. We offer activities on a range of topics from Native American dwellings to voting, to women in the workplace, and the Louisiana Purchase. Many of these activities include primary sources. One thing I want to note is they are designed to supplement what teachers are already teaching in the classroom. Anything that you're doing, there should be an easy way from all of our resources that you can kind of put a little data to supplement what's happening. For a closer look at one of our history activities is this elementary activity. From what I remember from school, there was always that elementary activity where you talked about things that are changing. You know, we have the internet now, phones are changing, record players, a whole lot of things. So this activity takes students through the evolution of the telephone, starting with Alexander Graham Bell in 1892. And they'll talk about the different kinds of phones over the years and discuss how phones have changed for today. My cool data factor on the next slide is students will look at this graph and see that landline telephone usage rises in the 60s and then starts to really decline around 2011. And you know, for some of these kids in elementary, a lot of them haven't even seen a house phone, as that seems like it's becoming a rare thing, everybody with their cell phones. So it's a fact, a statistic, but it's a cool way of just kind of seeing it. So here we are on to our third subject, which is math. Math, students will work with real life data, and they will learn about population and business in their state, walking and biking to work, marriage and divorce rates. That's just a few examples. For the cool data part, in this elementary math activity, students will look at a Child's Day infographic, from reading to eating meals with parents to life with siblings. Students will collect and organize data about their classroom and compare it with census data about classrooms around the country. So our fourth subject is geography. In these activities, students will do things like examine photos of places such as Times Square, that you can see in that little bubble right there, Niagara Falls, and they will look at an old-time picture of it and a more modern picture, and they'll look at data points, and they'll start to talk about how changes in population can affect our physical environment. At higher levels, students will work with maps and examine data on topics such as education. So here is one of our most popular activities. It's called Where is Gina, the Geographer? Students will use a data tool that's geared for elementary and middle school students and this map, and they will help find Gina. So an example of a question that we have students work through, and I'll just read it for you. I have a sweet tooth and eat candy maybe a little more often than I should. Don't tell my dentist. This state has only 19 candy and nut stores in 2018. So I knew I could not go there. Which state can you eliminate? So they'll use the data tool and then they're eliminating states. And for anybody that's interested, that state is Alabama. So finally, our last subject is sociology. This is for high school. With these activities, high school students can discover real-life statistics that can provide perspectives on topics such as migration, modern families, and poverty. And then on to my cool factor slide. This activity is analysis of the millennial generation. Students will look at data that shows how this generation differs from other generations. They will analyze and evaluate social changes. They will work with a partner to compose a newsletter. One piece of cool data is this chart showing the change in the number of young adults that are getting married now compared to 40 years ago. That's kind of compared to what we just saw. They're living at home more and they're getting married later, which I think we all know, but it's just kind of really cool to see it and shown in these formats. So those are our activities. I'll hand it over to Sheree now to tell you more about our shorter resources and our website.
Thank you, Vicki, and good afternoon, everyone. Today, I'll walk you through the many resources we offer, and then I'll show you how to access them on our website. Here we have a few examples of our fun facts and teaching guides. There are student-friendly handouts that tie in Census Bureau data to holidays, special events, anniversaries, and other observances. Each fun fact comes with a teaching guide that has suggested activity ideas to help incorporate the data in the classroom in a fun way that kids can understand. They're designed to be used across different subjects and at various grade levels. Recently, we've added new fun facts to commemorate the various heritage months. Guess what today is? It's Earth Day, and we have a fun fact to help celebrate. In this particular handout, we highlight the Census Bureau data, like how many people walk or ride a bike to work, revenues generated from various energy industries, and the number of people employed in those industries. An example of one of the middle school activities that can be found in the teaching guide is a quick write about how Americans heat their homes. So next we have a few examples of our warm-up activities, which are quick and easy tools to introduce students to Census Bureau data. They can be used at the beginning of a class period to help kids get their brains in gear, or on light or short days. They're even great to use when there's a substitute teacher or right before a holiday. Each takes about 5 minutes or so to complete, and they're on topics such as educational attainment, earnings and occupation, the holiday seasons. And the warm-ups are built around graphs, maps, videos, and other illustrative resources that help students analyze data in a visual context. Students are then able to respond to open-ended questions that reinforce critical thinking. So here's a closer look at one of our warm-up activities. It's for National Pet Day and highlights data on different veterinarian and animal care businesses. Students have an opportunity to learn about the number of establishment and paid employees in those industries and answer questions that spark potential job interest in those fields. We are continuously adding new resources to our website, and recently published is our new Asian American and Pacific Islander Heritage Month Fun Facts. Coming soon is an apportionment page where we gather in one place activities, videos, and an interactive map to help students understand what apportionment is and how it impacts their state. And we have an upcoming Mother's Day Fun Facts that will be available in May. Okay, now it's time to take a data break. So let's have a little bit of delicious fun here. And here I'm going to ask you the question, and then you'll make a selection from the choices available. So how many ice cream and frozen dessert makers are there in the United States? 433, 579, or 601? And we'll take a minute to allow time for you to place your responses in the chat box. Okay, I see a lot of responses coming in. Interesting choices. All right, so I guess that's about a minute. And if you guessed 433. You are correct. And I see a lot of people thought higher, but that's okay. That is one of the ways that we like to share information and present it to students in a relative way for them to understand it. So now let's just go ahead and take a deeper dive. One of our most popular data access tools is the State Facts for Students. It's targeted to elementary and middle school youth and contains kid-friendly data for states, the U.S., and its territories. In this example, we show Virginia. So students are able to see demographic and business data such as the number of 9-year-olds in their state or the number of amusement parks in Virginia. This tool lets students collect, analyze, graph, and compare data while they're learning more about their state. And we are currently working on enhancements to this tool by incorporating another graphical interface option and adding more data features. So stay tuned. We found it important to support the many parents and caregivers who are looking for ways to continue educating and keeping their children engaged at home. So we developed 4 parent caregiver toolkits for students in pre-K through 12th grade. Everything needed to get started is in one place, including tips and best practices for at-home learning, teaching guides with instructions on using and adapting our activities so they're easily adjusted to the home learner's needs. The key here is that parents and caregivers can confidently instruct children at home, even if they don't have a background in teaching. And that's something that we all know is a real challenge in our current environment. Let's explore what's in each toolkit. Our pre-K resources can both entertain and educate young children with a storybook, song, and interactive activities that involve counting and learning about their community. The butterfly mascot, CB, can be seen throughout the storybook and video series, helping kids make that connection between their family, community, and the state or territory where they live. These resources are available in both English and in Spanish. At the elementary level are more resources especially designed to be engaging and appropriate for that age group. Included are fun facts, lessons with student worksheets and teaching guides, an elementary school map and videos. Featured here is the Getting an Accurate Count video that presents a scenario where there are not enough birthday cupcakes to share with the class and what happens when not everyone is counted. So it explains in a very simplistic way why it's important to be counted in an accurate census. For middle school students, we included videos, classroom warm-up exercises, maps, and age-appropriate lessons, one including diversity. In this particular lesson, students analyzed historical data on race and ethnicity in the U.S. over time, noting trends by looking at data from previous decennial periods. The map here shows, it explains the U.S. population by providing data on the states with the youngest and oldest populations, the highest and lowest average family size, and the highest and lowest median income. Here are age-appropriate resources for high school students. We have maps which provide an overview of all 50 states. It includes data on languages spoken at home, median income, and population growth. We have several videos that explain the value of census data and feature engaging and interactive content that can be used to support our other statistics in schools activities. Featured here is the career-related video, which has students explore careers after high school. I will now show you where you can find all the wonderful materials Vicki and I have talked about. They're all free and easily accessed from our website at census.gov census.gov/schools. When you come to our homepage, you will notice we've placed high-level links where you can quickly navigate and find our more popular materials. At the top of the page, you'll see an orange banner that takes you to the at-home and distance learning materials. Then a little further down on the page, you see a graphic and button for April resources. This takes you to our monthly highlights page. So monthly highlights is a new page that we created to conveniently give you that one-stop shop to all of our resources related to the month's events. So for April, we have resources for Mathematics and Statistics Awareness Month, Earth Day, National Pet Day, National Library Week, National Kindergarten Day, and then there are a few other celebrated days included. So back to the home page. A little further down, there are other convenient quick links that take you to our activities, fun facts, warm-up worksheets, the State Facts for Students data tool and videos. In addition, we provide a link for information about becoming a teacher ambassador or partner. And later, Vicki will share with you more information about our ambassador program. From here, you can also subscribe to receive our newsletter or visit our Pinterest social media page. There are two top navigation tabs that I want to bring your attention to. The first is Activities, where you can select activities by subject or grade level. The second is the Resources tab, where all of our resources live. This is where you'll find the upcoming apportionment page, as well as our visualizations, historic photos and documents related to our activities, and resources for Constitution Day. Next, I'd like to show you our activity pages. So as mentioned, our activities are organized on the website by subject and grade levels. Shown here is the landing page for our history activities. For this example, I selected the grades K through 5 tab, but you have the option of selecting one of the other grade levels or just leaving it at the all grades default tab. Then you just simply scroll down the page and read the teaser text for each of the activities and select the ones that interest you. All of our subject and grade level pages are laid out in this very same way. After selecting an activity, teachers can read an in-depth overview to see if it's a good fit for their classroom. This includes the description, learning objectives, skills taught, materials needed, and time requirements. To get started, you just click on the download button for the student version and the teacher's guide, and the activities are provided in a PDF format. So now that I've given you an overlook at our resources and the website, I'll turn it back over to Vicki so she can tell you more about our ambassadors program. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. Sorry it takes a minute to unmute. So finally, the last thing that we want to talk about is our first ever Teacher Ambassador program that we just started last year. We started this program for the 2020 census to have teachers and librarians and other in the educational community help us spread the word about our resources and the census in their classroom and in schools and among their peers. We had a diverse group sign up to help us out. There were 142 ambassadors, and they did things like conducting SIS lessons with their students, with the media present in the room. They hosted district-wide meetings with other teachers, and they posted a lot to social media. In total, they made 855 posts with a reach of more than 4 million followers. So it was very helpful in our efforts to get the word out about the importance. So now that the census is over, we are working on turning this program into an evergreen program with a focus on helping us build statistical literacy. We have begun reaching out to all the ambassadors that signed up for 2020, and we're really focusing on building those relationships and getting to know them. And So currently, they've been receptive. A few have left the field, but currently we are starting our new program with 37 very active ambassadors that want to continue. We've recently, without much promoting, we recently signed up 3 new ones, and they cover 27 states and territories. So I wanted to share on this slide just a few of the comments that we've gotten back from them to kind of show you what they're doing. A returning ambassador wants to train other teachers, that resources are available through the program. A new one wants to create a new class on statistics in real life. Not listed on the slide is one I'm excited about. We have an 8th grade English teacher who apparently is a TikTok star. I think her lessons were really long, so she got them down to very short, digestible teaching moments. And she has over 1 million followers. So we have a goal of getting her to post something census, statistics in schools, fun fact related on her TikTok account. So we want to be able to offer ambassadors something in exchange for working with us. So a few ideas that we've come up with, we're offering, and we've done a few customized virtual field trips for your classroom. Like you have a 3rd grade class and you really want to go into what's happening in your state and showing them some fun data. We will customize that for you. We have an Ask an Expert. This tends to be a little bit the higher level. We can have, we have a building full of experts on these topics. And we recently had a geography division at the Census Bureau, a subject matter expert, Skype into a classroom in California to talk about geography. We also offer being highlighted in social media and articles and blogs. We're working on something special right now with our ambassadors to try to get out in social media for Teacher Appreciation Week, which is coming up in May. If you know anyone that would be interested, please refer to the link. It's on our homepage. Sheree mentioned it earlier. It's about halfway down, I think. So finally, I hope that we have demonstrated a number of new or fun and interesting ways that you hadn't thought of data or sharing it with your students before. And it will help us build statistical literacy in our next generation. You can stay connected with our program. Once a month we send a newsletter kind of with what new things we're working on or suggestions for how to get a little data in that month and how you can teach. So you will receive these updates on new activities and resources. It'll come straight to your inbox. And that is also on our homepage, as Sheree pointed out. So finally, I just wanted to, on behalf of Sheree and myself, to thank you very much for joining and listening to us share our passion about getting data out to the students.
Thank you, Vicki and Sheree. I'm looking at some feedback on the chat, and it seems that some of our participants would like to have more ice cream locations throughout the nation. 433 doesn't seem enough, apparently. So thank you so much, Sheree, for that one fun fact. And also thank you both for the wonderful information that you have provided. I have a question. Let's just open up our chat on our Q&A. So we have a question. Can teaching assistants become ambassadors too? Vicki, Sheree, either one? You want to grab that?
Yep, I'll start on that. So yes, anybody in the educational community, we have librarians, we have teachers, and it's not really an application process. We just want to, know a little bit about you and what you teach and what you're interested in. So if you shoot us an email to just go to our homepage, and we can also, with the materials that you will be receiving, there is a one-page flyer about the Teacher Ambassador Program, and that will give you more information as well.
Okay, thank you so much, Vicki. Okay, I have another question. It seems like you have wonderful resources aimed at math, English, and geography. Any plans to make activities for science in the classrooms?
So it's not, we have so many dreams when we create materials, and that hasn't. I mean, always open to new ideas. Like, we will change things and create things, and for those that are interested. I actually would like to hear a little more about how you see that fit, because if I can a little more understand how the fit is, then we can see how we can go about doing that.
Okay. So if they have any questions, they could feel free to reach out.
Yeah, please follow up. Please follow up with us.
Okay, and you can contact the SIS division at Stats in Schools at census.gov. And that's on, I'm going to actually put that in the thread for everyone. And you can contact both, Sheree and Vicki at that information. I put it in the thread. 1 second, I'm going to actually put it to everyone. Give me. Okay, that information is available. Stats in Schools at census.gov, and that number is 763-4030. Okay, so I have one more question. Are the lessons for middle school and high school students also available in other languages?
I don't know if Sheree wants to jump in for part. I can answer if it's Sheree. Okay, I don't know if Ms. Sheree is muted. So for the census, we did have materials in Spanish, but right now the materials that we offer are only in English. But again, I mean, we do have limited resources, but if there were certain materials that might be helpful, we could look into what we could do. But overall, our materials are just in English for now. And I just want to say, it makes my heart happy to read these comments, that everybody maybe felt a different way. Thank you.
Wonderful. So let's move on. I don't see any more questions in our chat thread. Let's see. Okay, thank you, Sheree and Vicki, for a wonderful presentation again. And as I mentioned earlier, everyone, we weren't able to answer all questions today, but if you think of something and those questions were not answered, please contact ask.census.gov. And I've also shared information for our SIS program, Stats in Schools at census.gov, and you can reach area code 301-763-4030 for more information. And as a reminder, you will receive a PDF and our resource materials and within 2 business days after our summit. And we'll send that information to your email address directly, not to worry. So let's continue with our program. Before you go, I would like to share some very important resources, because if you enjoyed today's summit, we have more to share to help you learn more about census data tools and resources. There is so much at your fingertips on census.gov Census Academy page. There you can find valuable information on data dissemination and our training program. There are options to request a free data training for your organization. Did I mention it's free of charge? Now, you really can't beat that. You can also receive our data gems, which are short how-to videos aimed at helping you increase your knowledge of census data. Not to worry, we'll deliver it directly to your email. And you can also gain access to our easy learn at your own pace tutorials. Now, we're really here for you. You can also interact with our instructors virtually via webinars. If you're eager to learn more about census data, we have several more data summits that are available between now and August. You can find everything you need on the 2021 Data Summit page on census.gov. In the search bar at the top, simply type 2021 Data Summit Series to land on the page as seen on this slide. To view all the scheduled summits, please be sure to click Show More and find the one that suits you. Believe me, this is a one-stop shop. And remember, we're recording today's session, and that link will be provided soon. As you continue on your day, we would like to stay connected with you, and we want to hear from you. There are 3 ways to tell us what you think about today's session. First, be on the lookout for a post-summit email with a general question about your experience today. Please take the time to reply immediately. You may also contact your regional office via phone or email. And of course, as you have been doing over the past year, connect with your local partnership specialist with any comments or questions. And just to provide some more information about our regional offices, we actually have 6 throughout the nation. For the Atlanta Regional Office, our regional director is Mr. George Grandy, Jr., and you can reach that office at atlanta.regional.office@census.gov. For our Chicago Regional Office, our regional director is Marilyn A. Sanders. That email address is chicago.regional.office@census.gov. And for our Denver Regional Office, Kathy Lacey is the regional director. That email address is denver.regional.office@census.gov. For our Los Angeles Regional Office, Julie Lamb is the regional director. That email address is los.angeles.regional.office@census.gov. For our New York Regional Office, Ian Hull is the acting regional director. That email address is new.york.regional.office@census.gov. And for our Philadelphia Regional Office, Fernando Armstrong is the regional director. Philadelphia.regional.office@census.gov. Those are pretty long email addresses, not to worry. As I mentioned, we will provide the PDF within 2 business days so that you can refer to this information to contact your regional office. And before you go, here's my contact information for any questions or comments for the Chicago region. Those states include Indiana, Illinois, Wisconsin, Michigan, Arkansas, Minnesota, Missouri, and Iowa. Thank you so much for joining us for today's summit, Statistics in Schools, Bringing Census Data to the Classroom. I would like to thank our Census Bureau leadership, our Chicago Regional Director, Marilyn A. Sanders, our Area Census Regional Manager, Elisa Johnson, our special guest, Kelly Booth, from the American Federation of Teachers, and absolutely our presenters from the Census Bureau's SIS Division, Victoria Glazier and Sheree Johnson-Jordan. Before we close out today's session, I'd like to review our objectives for the summit, which were to increase your awareness of the vast data products available through the U.S. Census Bureau, better equip you to utilize some of the free online tools available on our SIS section on census.gov, and to provide resources and toolkits to assist you with navigating data available through census.gov. There has been a wealth of information shared today, and we want you to leave this webinar with the inspiration to spread the word that data are for everyone from all walks of life. Thank you for joining today. Please expect the PDF and resource sheet from today's presentation within 2 business days. This concludes today's webinar. Thank you for joining us. Have a wonderful afternoon.